What else has changed more broadly in the city, either in the people or in the place, or?
It's changed a lot. It really, things have changed a lot, and it depends what age you are in terms of how much it has changed in many ways. I have 4 children, the eldest of which is 14, and of course he has no concept of the way it used to be. I was born 30 miles from here, and my dad used to come up to Belfast to a night class to learn how to be a barber, and I remember being terrified about the fact that he was travelling to Belfast. It was such an unsafe place. Bombs exploded regularly, and that level of anxiety was quite awful.
Yes. And there was what was known as the Ring of Steel around the edge of the city.
Yes.
So you had to go through a checkpoint to get into the centre of town.
Well, you couldn't drive into the centre of the city at any time. When you went into shops, you were frisked, and your bag was searched if you had a handbag or any kind of a bag in case you had a device in it. It was a time of real economic depression. It was an absolutely awful time. So there's a whole generation, maybe 2 generations now, who have no concept of that, and there's this sort of phrase which is get over the troubles, get over the troubles. But we're talking on the 16th of July, and the public holiday, which is the Orange Parades on the 12th and 13th of July, is very recent.
Yes.
And again, there was more trouble in one of the areas of the city, which
in the
Ardoyne.
Yes.
You know, it's a neighbourhood which is predominantly nationalist, and the same tensions that have been present for a number of years flare up again.
Yeah.
So, on one hand, there has been a significant change in the vast number of people's behaviour. On the other hand, maybe not so much.
Yes.
I remember one of the things that we really wanted to do whenever we delivered the MAC was to provide something for people to do in the city centre 7 days a week. And the big totem was, are you going to open on Sunday? Everybody always asked us, are you going to open on Sunday? Because everything shut down. Everything in this city used to shut down at 5 o'clock. And on Sundays.
This was like mainland UK in the 50s.
Exactly,
yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Only with some political tension thrown in for good measure.
Yes.
And so we decided, of course, we were going to open on Sundays. But I thought that it was going to take years of us making losses on Sundays before people would begin to change their behaviour. Not at all. There are 1,500 people. The last Sunday there were 1,500 people in here in a 3-hour period. People want to have different things to do, and there is I continue to be very relieved by the fact that the very modern aesthetic in the MAC, the very modern architecture, hasn't been. People have been really open to it, and they really want it, and I think that's to do with the fact that we're travelling more now than we used to, and so people, we always used to say, and we sometimes still do, that we want people to use the MAC the way they would use like the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. When they go on holiday, you sit and drink coffee, you go to see art. We want people to do that in their home city as well, and my goodness, they're doing it.
There's been tremendous changes in the city since I've known it over 40 years. What do you think the biggest changes over the last 10 years have been?
Well, there's certainly been physical changes, but I suspect every city has went through that process of regeneration of one sort or another. But certainly, as far as we're concerned, when we started up community television, it was the peace process was ongoing and so on. But I think our work would have been very difficult to try and do within the kind of conflict situation. People were very uptight. Very guarded in the responses, drifting in and out of communities would have been very problematic. People are much more relaxed now about it. Things are a lot better for people like us. Not everything is honky-dory, of course it isn't, but I think with the new executive there is a kind of transparency. They may have their conflicts and so on, but at least we feel that things can be looked at in a better way. More and different and more varied agendas can be looked at, rather than the old having to always comment on the troubles.